Okay, thanks for joining us again. Russell and I are here again trying to help out with some nutrition. And one of the most misunderstood aspects of horse nutrition is the difference in the need of calories versus protein. I've got a lot of people that come in the store and they ask me, they'll tell me that their horse needs more calories. They want something to add more calories to their horse. And one of the questions I ask them is to tell me whether they see their horse's ribs or not. And many times the answer is no, I don't really see his ribs. And so I continue to ask, well, what are you seeing? And typically the answer is, well, the withers sticking up or the hips sticking out. And those two different signs are two different requirements or needs for the horse nutritionally. When we look at seeing a horse's ribs or not seeing a horse's ribs, we're specifically talking about calories. If I don't see ribs, my horse's calorie intake is sufficient. If I see lots of ribs, I need more calories. Now, for the person who comes in and goes, no, I don't see any ribs, but my hip bone or my withers are sticking up, that's a protein need. And you typically can't take a low-calorie feed and help a lot with that top line. You need something that has the amino acids, the protein, so that horse will have the building blocks to build and maintain the muscle on the top line. And Russell, today there's many misconceptions about protein. Tell us what some of those are.
Oh, proteins are very misunderstood. People are scared of it for various reasons. That it causes kidney failure, or, causes my horse to get hot or hyper, or causes, this, that, or the other, and it really doesn't do any of the above. It's probably the #1 nutritional deficiency we see in horses today from a visual standpoint, because for various reasons, and one of them is just the overall fear of protein. So people are scared to feed a higher protein feed or a higher quality protein feed, and thus they feed enough calories, possibly like you're talking, to where you can't see the horse's rib, but you can see the vertebrae along the horse's back, or the hip bones, or the withers are sunken in. And it just basically is a sign that they're not getting enough protein or quality proteins in the diet to maintain and build that muscle structure across the horse's top line.
Right.
And the reasons for the fears of the protein, I don't know, but they are definitely out there, and they're ingrained in a lot of horse owners' minds to the point where they're causing detriment to their horses because of that fear.
I think one of the things that people misunderstand, and I'll try to give just an example of, is that, for instance, the Pro Advantage Diet Balancer for grass hay is 30% protein plus added amino acids to help build and maintain that top line. So someone sees 30% protein and they go, oh my goodness, it's going to blow up my horse, it's going to blow up their kid. They have these misconceptions about the protein and not understanding that if you're feeding a grass hay, we're getting grass hay that's test 5, 6, 7%. We do get some off some fertilized irrigated fields that may test in the 12%. But a lot of the grass hays out there are under 10%.
Yes.
Well, we've got this, the infamous 12% feed. Most people in their mind have this idea, yeah, my horse needs 12% protein, 12% feed. Well, if you think about it, if I'm feeding grass hay and that grass hay is 7%, I'm far from the 12.
Far from the 12.
And so with the Diet Balancer, if I'm feeding my horse 20% or 20 pounds of 8% grass hay, by itself, the protein in my horse's diet, in simplistic terms, is 8%.
Correct.
When I add the recommended amount of a pound of Pro Advantage, that 8% in my horse's total diet moves about 1 point. So I go from 8 to 9. So if I ask somebody, hey, is 9% protein in your horse's diet high? And they go, no, I think that's short. But they don't understand what it means to have that 30% added to 20 pounds of 8%.
And some of that also goes back to feeding level, like the prior discussion we had. We don't recommend Pro Advantage being fed at 5 or 6, 7 pounds a day because of its protein percentage. I ask people all the time, would you be scared of 1 pound of a 30%? And I say, are you scared of 3 pounds of a 10%? They say, well, no. Well, those are the same protein levels.
Right.
So it all goes back to feeding level. You can overfeed or underfeed, and a feed that's got a higher percentage of nutrients is designed to be fed at lower feeding levels to match the hay, the nutrients that are not in your hay.
Right. And again, that protein and calorie balancing is important. Again, if you come in and you say, really, I need more calories, it's summer, I'm riding my horse, you know, we go from the Pro Advantage 1 pound a day to the premium performance at, let's say, 3 or 4 pounds a day. We still meet that same vitamin mineral level, but we bump the calories up about 6,000 pounds, and we're now meeting the calorie level and the vitamin mineral levels.
Yes.
Again, I've had lots of scenarios. I've had people come in and say, you know, my horse doesn't look right. I ask them if they see ribs. They don't see ribs. They're on, maybe it's a big dressage horse that's 1,300 pounds. They're on 1.5 pounds of the Pro Advantage. And what they see again is top line. And in most of those cases, we'll add a protein supplement. Let's say another pound or two of soybean meal that's going to add the protein, i.e. the amino acids, to help build that top line. But we didn't add a bunch of grain. We didn't add a bunch of calories. We just helped support that horse's ability to maintain and develop that muscle.
And it's all about getting the horses. Everybody has this misconception when you're feeding Pro Advantage or soybean meal that's 48% crude protein, or Pro Advantage is 30, that I'm overfeeding protein. No, we're just trying to get horses to their minimum daily requirement, because if they come in saying, well, my horse is lacking in the top line area, that is a visual indication that they are on a deficient protein level currently. So adding those things, just try to bring them back to normal.
For those people that feed alfalfa and use the Pro Advantage alfalfa formula, sometimes alfalfa can be high in protein. It can be higher than the 12%. It can be 18, 20%.
20.
What happens to a horse in that case?
In that case, the horse actually just urinates it out. I mean, it doesn't cause any harm to the horse. I mean, it may make what we call some expensive urine because it's being urinated out, but there's no detriment to the horse. Any protein fed beyond what the horse needs just gets passed out onto the ground. It's not, so we don't advocate overfeeding protein because it is expensive. But in situations where we're feeding alfalfa hay or something where we're more than the horse requires, it just gets passed through.
Great. So there's very little reason to fear protein, and a lot of need for horse owners to understand really protein and the difference in protein and calories better. Again, our goal is to help you feed your horse better. And we're going to go on to another segment, and again, hope this is very helpful for you.